We'll call this meeting to order. Please stand for the invocation and pledge. And the invocation will be led by Mr. Irving Gilliard.
Good evening, everyone. Oh, Heavenly Father, we honor you. We just praise you. We give you all glory. And we just thank you for this Board of County Commissioners meeting tonight. And we just ask that as they go through the agenda, that you, as always, lead and guide them in the best decision for the citizens of Nassau County. We thank you for the support that they get through the county attorney's office, the county manager's office, and all of the support through those offices. Continue to look on our first responders as they go through dangers seen and dangers unseen. And we're so thankful for this past holiday where we celebrated our independence. And we just thank you for how you have blessed this country. Continue to bless this country and this county. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Commissioner McCullough. Here. Commissioner Gray.
Here.
Commissioner Farmer.
Here.
Commissioner Hutman.
Here.
And Chair Martin.
Here. County Manager, do you have any expansion items?
I do not, thank you, sir.
County Attorney?
I have none, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Consent items. If any board member wishes to move a consent item to new business, please do so now.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move tab K, please, down to new business.
Okay. Commissioner Hutman wants to move tab K, and I would like to move tab E to new business. Are there any other commissioners that would like to move a consent item? Okay. Does any member of the public want to speak on a consent item? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of tabs E and K.
So moved, Mr. Chairman. Second.
A motion from Commissioner Gray, second by Commissioner Farmer. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. That will move us into new business. Any member of the public may address any item under new business at this time. The time limit is 3 minutes each. Is there anyone who wishes to address any item under new business? You can do so at this time, or you can do so when the item comes up on the agenda. Okay. So that will move us into new business. Tab E, award invitation to bid NC 24-008 for epoxy services to Industrial Surfacing and Lining LLC, and authorize the chairman to sign contract number CM 3700 with Industrial Surfacing and Lining LLC for epoxy services for the jail and detention center, animal control, and the Justice Center in the amount of $482,028. Assistant County Manager Ironman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So with this item, this has been a competitive bidded process, seeking for the service. Basically, what we're looking at is for the maintenance of our facilities and the ongoing usability, using epoxy on the flooring really kind of extends that useful life. So pointing out like one area is the animal control facility. As the concrete gets cracked, worn, torn, you do get bacteria disease that goes in those cracks. And so as kind of a health and safety item, we use the epoxy flooring to secure, seal those off, maintain it a little bit more sanitary, and that allows for a good workplace while extending that useful life of that facility and the concrete flooring. And same thing as you look over the jail, kitchen areas, those kind of items. It really is kind of that maintaining a clean, safe environment, if you will.
Thank you, Mr. Ironman. And I know I sound like a broken record when I do this, but I move things like this because they're such big ticket items, almost $500,000. I think if there was going to be any discussion about it, or at least an explanation on the record, is at the minimum is appropriate. Do you have any questions for Mr. Ironman?
I'd just like to make a comment if you don't mind.
Commissioner Farmer?
I priced out this epoxy flooring for my garage and got my feelings hurt. So I'll just go ahead and tell you that little old spot for me to park 2 vehicles is about $20,000. So, yeah, I'll add that to the conversation. So it don't look too bad based on the amount of square footage that we're covering.
I'll entertain a motion for tab E.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second.
Motion from Commissioner Hupman, second by Commissioner Farmer to approve tab E. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Tab K, consider the following. Consider a resolution authorizing the use of tourist development tax funds to sponsor Fernandina Beach Main Street Foundation, Inc. 2, approve and authorize the chairman to sign contract number CM 3698 with Fernandina Beach Main Street Foundation, Inc. in the amount of $60,000. Commissioner Upman, you asked to move this, so I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Fellow commissioners, I'm going to abstain from vote on this item. Kay, my wife, is a part-time employee now at Fernandina Beach Main Street as an events coordinator, and so I'm going to abstain from voting on this item, tab K. I've filed a form with the clerk.
And that's your sole reason for
That's the
moving
sole reason for moving that, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman,
it. Commissioner Gray.
I'll make a motion to approve tab K with Commissioner Hupman abstaining on the vote. I'll second it.
A motion from Commissioner Gray, second by Commissioner Farmer. All those, is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Tab N, approve and authorize the chairman to sign the preliminary rate resolution for the South Amelia Island Shore Stabilization Municipal Service Benefit Unit Beach Renourishment Capital Assessment Area. Say that 10 times real fast. Assistant County Manager Ironman.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I'll make a comment on this item N and item O that follows shortly after. With the South Amelia Island Shore Stabilization, we do have the South Amelia Island Shore Stabilization Association down there. They work with us on the assessments, part of it being the cap on the bonds, which has funded the renourishment. The other component, which is the second one, is some of the other maintenance and ongoing items within that area. So this is standard as part of the assessment to continue to move it forward, pay the capital, and make sure we have nice renourished beaches down there and ongoing monitoring services. And we do have a representative from SASA, Mr. Bill Moore, if there are any questions on that end as well.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Ironman? I'll entertain a motion for tab N.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve tab N.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
I have a motion from Commissioner Hupman, a second by Commissioner Gray to approve tab N. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Tab O. Mr. Ironman, I don't think you need to repeat the same thing. So approve and authorize chairman to sign the preliminary rate resolution for the South Amelia Island Shore Stabilization Municipal Service Benefit Unit Beach Renourishment Maintenance Assessment Area. So the, sounds like I said the same thing as tab N, but there is a difference. Can you just briefly describe what the difference is? One was the capital assessment and one is the maintenance assessment.
I believe
So
if I
just define
try
that.
not to oversimplify it, but this component is more of the annual monitoring, where the first item is more for the debt service payments on the bonds.
All right. I'll entertain a motion on tab O.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion from Commissioner Hupman,
Second.
second by Commissioner McCullough. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Tab P, authorize the chairman to sign finance action form for the use of fire impact fees to purchase a generator for the newly constructed tributary fire station, Station 10, in the amount of $109,553. Assistant County Manager Ironman.
The great thing is, we do have a new fire station coming online. This is new capacity, and so with that tributary fire station, one thing that falls outside of the development of it is having that generator in place. As we know, we need the generators for certain events to make sure that our fire stations are operational. This is utilizing those impact fees paid by new development to fund this new impact, if you will.
So this is like a backup generator should they lose power?
Yes, sir.
Entertain a motion or any questions for Mr. Ironman?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Gray.
Do we know that's gonna have the ATS switch, everything, just like all the other ones we just did it like a year or two ago to upgrade them? They'll all be the same?
Yes, sir.
I see Mr. Little in the audience. Okay, all right, thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions for Mr. Ironman?
Just a comment, Mr. Chairman. Also,
Commissioner Hupman.
this comes out of the fire impact fees, which has a balance of about $2.6 million in that account. so.
And I'll follow up with,
Commissioner Farmer.
I just got through putting a 25 KW at my house. And again, generators will hurt your feelings. I'll go ahead and tell you right now, this ain't no residential generator. So, yeah, it's a heavy lift, but it's also a very big generator in comparison to a residential system.
I feel your pain. I have one of those too. But when that hurricane comes through and you lose power,
It's a nice,
it was worth every penny.
very nice
All right,
investment.
so I'll entertain a motion for tab P. Did I already have a motion?
I'll make the motion, be fine.
The motion from Commissioner Farmer to approve tab P.
Motion to approve.
Second, Mr. Chairman?
Second from Commissioner Farmer. Any further discussion or sharing of our, whole house generators stories? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Tab Q, consider a resolution pursuant to section 196.1978, parentheses 3, parentheses O, Florida statutes, electing to not exempt property under section 196-1978, parentheses 3, parentheses D, 1.A, Florida statutes, commonly known as the Live Local Property Tax Exemption. County Manager.
Yes, sir, thank you. So the Live Local Act, we're familiar with it, we've talked about it for a couple years now. Very good intent, very good intentions, important for the quality of life in all of our communities. However, like most things, a one-size-fits-all approach does not work for all. And that's no different in this case. There was a tax exemption that was built into the latest version of the Live Local Act that is adverse to Nassau County. And our opinion from a staff level is that we should not take Nassau County taxpayer money out of their pocket and give it to developers that live out of town to build market rate housing in Nassau County. I've asked Assistant County Manager Ironman to walk through some numbers with you to show you the potential impacts of this exemption. And while it may work great in Dade County and Hillsborough County, in Nassau County, it does not work. And we are advising you to not allow for the exemption based on the information that's been provided. And we can go into details, we can talk about it as long as you need to talk about it, but we feel strongly that subsidizing market rate apartments is not the approach to go. If you want to create a subsidization process or program for affordable housing, it needs to be based on the Nassau County market and what is affordable by definition in Nassau County, not what would work in Miami-Dade County.
So let me just, before you take over there, Mr. Ironman, the word subsidize, I want to make sure it's clear that when the county mayor said subsidizing market rate housing, that's not subsidizing the people that are trying to rent housing. This would be subsidizing the developers that are selling apartments and townhouses or leasing them at the market rate. So that would be giving them a benefit that is not passed on to the leaseholder or the renter. Am I correct?
Correct. So what it comes down to is the existing taxpayers of Nassau County will be paying for the impacts of the new residents that come into these apartment complexes, while at the same time, compounding it, the owner of the apartment complexes will only be paying, could be up to 100% exemption for their property tax rates. So yes. it has a
Vice,
compounding effect.
vice if they, and I know the presentation is going to cover a lot of this, but vice if those same property owners who are renting and leasing, it would be different if they were passing on, if those rates were at a lower rate. Then I would say it would be something we would consider to be favorable because it would be helping for affordable housing.
And Mr. Ironman will go into some specific numbers, but yes, sir, the problem is that, again, when you try to use a one-size-fits-all for the entire state of Florida, you have such disparities in markets that one-size-fits-all doesn't work.
Understand.
So we can create a local program, but what's built into Live Local is not suitable for affordable housing in Nassau County.
And I apologize if I've stole some of your thunder, but did you have a question, Commissioner Gray?
Well, I read the packet too, and I just want to make sure I'm perfectly clear. 80%, 80 to 120% is what I've seen, AMI.
Yep.
And that is not for helping the affordable housing. That's way above. And the MSA is the service area, so yeah, okay, yeah.
So with that, if I may, Mr. Chairman, all right, the presentation goes up. So we've talked some of the concepts, so I'll skip over some of the live local components, but basically, we know that that was passed. It is a one-size-fits-all for the state, really with the hopes to improve affordable housing. And so part of this process allows in certain components for up to 75% or 100% of the property tax exemption for up to 30 years on those properties. And this is where it is critical, is our goal is really to meet the demands of affordable housing. We've got to focus on what is the affordable need within Nassau County. So under that Live Local Act, it's got those two components. Basically, if you're in the 80% to 120%, you can get that ad valorem property tax exemption up to 75% of the assessed value. If you're below that, you do not exceed 80%, you can actually get 100% tax exemption. And so that's where that 50 to 80%, which is really kind of our workforce housing needs, there is a method there. We're maintaining that method, and we'll have that in place as needed. But when we look at that 80 to 20%, what really impacts us is we're part of the Jacksonville metropolitan statistical area. And so when you look at the median income for Nassau County, you'll see this on the left side of the slide, that median is $98,100. And what that equates to is, as you're looking at the chart, basically a single individual in a single home, that individual could be making up to $81,840 and fit into that bracket. What that means for a rent component is a one-bedroom apartment, basically they could be affordable in this 80 to 120 going up to $2,190. Now, so as we look at some of these items, and we'll talk about what this really means when we look at the market rents here. So one thing to note is, under the law, there's an allowable exemption to kind of back off for that and not apply it in our jurisdiction if we already have excess capacity. And so what you will see in that 80 to 120% range, there is in the statistical area 4,418 excess units. And so we are meeting that need, which is the good part, right? There is capacity to meet those individuals' needs to rent. And this number, because the Schimberg report, it's a 23 report, it really shows the 22 numbers. It doesn't account for a lot of the new apartment complexes that we've seen come online within Nassau County. But when you get below 80%, we still need to look at focusing on those units. So looking at one of our projects here, basically what you'll see is 80 to 120 is really not affordable. It is market rate. So as we mentioned, a single individual living in a one-bedroom apartment, that affordability can go up to $2,190. When we looked at this example of the lofts at Wildlight, one-bedroom apartment starts at $1,579. So that is in that 80 to 120%. That is market rate. So that project alone essentially has a just value of $61 million, taxable property value of $52. Its annual tax liability is $871,000. So the market rate apartment is $1,579. But based on the Live Local Act, this could qualify for a 75% tax exemption. This is why we see the need to back off from that exemption and make sure that we are focusing our dollars into where we need affordable housing in that 50 to 80% really. And then as this moves up, you'll kind of see is with a two-bedroom or a three-bedroom, that can go up to over $3,000 a month in rent. Well, from that little chart you see there, a three-bedroom apartment starts at $2,779. So our market rate rents are below that affordability component right now. So we're already meeting the needs of the public, and that's why you see that excess capacity for the area. When you look at another project off the Mills Creek Preserve, right off the 95, their first phase, again, a one-bedroom apartment starts at $1,490. It's in that range of the 80 to 120, but that's the market rate. And so based on the income, individuals should be able to afford it. Again, this one with the annual tax liability, $640,000. So if we allowed the exemption, that would be 75% of that going away. And again, as you move forward with the three bedrooms, the three-bedroom can go up to $3,000, and this one right now is $2,025. So we are meeting that criteria in the marketplace. So what we're really looking at is this tax exemption problem, right? The 80 to 120, that is current market rate. That is not affordable housing. Our affordable housing is below 80% to really meet the needs of the public that has a demand out there. That 75% tax exemption, if we continue to allow it, is virtually automatic, and we're paying for those services. So, and it does create an unfair competitive advantage. A lot of these apartment complexes are owned by individuals that don't live in Nassau County. They're getting the tax relief while it's not making an impact to those end users. So to put it another way, if we gave them a 75% tax exemption, those rents would still be where they are because that's market rate. That's not affordable. So the recommendation tonight is to remove that 80 to 120% median income range, which essentially is the current market rate. So we would no longer allow that 75% tax exemption for market rate units. But we continue to use that less than 80% tax exemption. And so when true affordable housing units come in, we have that ability to incentivize them through that tax exemption under the Live Local Act. And again, one of the things, I know you guys were having some of the dialogue on this, is when those property tax exemptions occur, there's still a burden. And so just looking at some of these projects, you're still going to need, law enforcement, fire, other services. One project at 2.5 persons per unit and 188 units, essentially that's 470 people. So you're going to have response times on fire. You're going to have basically half a deputy that needs to be available. And so these are true costs that come through. The school district will have costs for the children that attend the school, all of those items. And so we really need to keep those taxes there to support that. And if it's market rate, should we really be having that burden on other taxpayers that are going to backfill those demand or expenses? And there is one thing, the Live Local, there's a lot of questions as it's brand new, and so a lot of this is going through many of the jurisdictions. As we've all come back from different conferences, there's a lot of dialogue on how this is going to evolve and play forward. So as we look forward on affordable housing, the action tonight, is towards basically not exempting market rate units to a tax exemption. But I did want to focus a little bit on some of the ongoing efforts that we've been doing in Nassau County to support affordable housing. And what we've come through many of our things is affordable housing for us is in that 50% AMI, but not exceeding 80% AMI. These are some of the conversations that we have on the Affordable Housing Advisory Commission. We've done things such as Resolution 2023, identify the county-owned lands available for affordable housing. That's been out there and available. So those parcels are out for discussion when individuals are seeking those. The winter strategic planning session, as we have our property on 14th Street in Fernandina Beach, the direction from the board was to develop concept plans, preliminary performance standards, affordability parameters, and then move forward with an RFP so that we can help to develop some other affordable options within the city of Fernandina Beach. Now, part of that discussion was to work directly with them to make sure that both the municipality and the county are on the same page and working forward collectively. With the assistance of Commissioner Huppman, working on the AHAC, we've also had the Local Housing Assistance Plan. And over the last year plus, we've done such things as additional incentive strategies. So we have the expedited and streamlined permitting process. We've done the reduction of parking, different setback requirements, and then we've looked at flexible densities and density bonuses, if you will. 2 new programs that we've added under that LHAP to help meet some of the needs of affordable housing is we added a component for new construction. Essentially, as we work with nonprofits or other individuals, if they're coming in to build a home that will be an affordable housing unit, they can get up to $150,000 for a 3-bedroom. And so we're working with them, and that helps pay for impact fees, other fees, and really starts the construction. On the rental housing development assistance, through the LHAP, we've got a program that provides up to $500,000, depending on the availability of funds there, really to help subsidize those units. And so we're putting our money towards the appropriate 50 to 80% and really working for addressing homeless or affordable housing within the community. And just as a side note, that LHAP application, or the application for the SHIP program, is going to be coming out towards the end of July, and so we'll have that opportunity to work with the public. And with that, that concludes my report.
Any questions for Mr. Ireland? Thank you, Mr. Ireland.
Thank you, sir.
I entertain a motion for tab Q.
So I'll make a motion to approve tab Q, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second it.
Motion from Commissioner Hutman, second by Commissioner Farmer to approve tab Q. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Oh,
I'll
Commissioner.
wait till after the vote, Mr. Martin. I wanted to do comment after the vote, Mr. Martin.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Commissioner McCullough.
Yes, sir. I think, we've all probably picked this statue and just looked and dug through this and everything, but I think, and I just spoke to a lady today on the phone about the affordable housing, is when you look at this, we're in such a weird bracket with our salaries. When we look at what affordable housing is, our calculations never come up appropriate. And Marshall, you and I have had this conversation round and round because we have such drastic ends of income in this county. When we do our calculations and we present back to the public, I think, they're looking for this minimum base number, but we're looking at more of like workforce housing. I think that's in those public-private partnerships, because in this county with our diverse population, affordable housing based on the state's numbers is never going to work out in the workforce housing's favor. And so I think it's imperative for people who are worried about this to just really work adamantly with public and private partnerships, because that's really the only way we're going to get workforce housing I can see in the future. But I may be wrong. I've been wrong before.
Thank you, Commissioner McCullough. Any other commissioner like to comment?
I'll just,
Commissioner Hutman.
thank you, Mr. Chairman, appreciate it. I'm just going to comment that we need to focus on where we can actually put the money into affordability. And it would be a waste of money to put it in a place where it's just going to evaporate. But we got to target right where we need it, and that's what we're trying to do. Is keep them out of the market rate, put them into the affordable rates.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
Commissioner
If I-
Gray.
If I may, thank you, sir. I agree. We don't need to subsidize the developer at 80 to 120% market rate. Now, you get down here and want to build some houses to help our citizens at 50% market rate, we'd love to talk to you. We welcome you with open arms. But, there's a lot of projects going on in the county, they're tearing down former car lots, and companies are doing private-public parking, public projects, and they're like the Omni, I believe it is. I think they're building something on the side of the road. There's things happening. I look forward to those. I welcome. I think this commission as a whole would welcome that, because we do want to foster affordable and workforce housing here in Nassau County. But this act here just didn't work, don't fit for us. It's basically a redistribution of wealth. And if we give those incentives to someone like that, then the taxpayers are going to have to pick up the tab for that money being given away. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner. I would go one step further and say that if we did give that, it would disincentivize them to go lower.
Yes, I
To
agree.
come in at
I agree.
50%.
I
So
agree.
it would have
There will be no incentive.
the unintended consequence of backfiring. And-
Right.
And there would be no incentive to provide workforce housing. Okay, let's move on.
Yep.
Tab R, cancel the Board of County Commissioners special meeting scheduled for July 17th, 2024 at 10 PM regarding the Vision 2050 update.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve tab R.
Motion from Commissioner Hutman,
Second.
second by Commissioner Gray. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Tab S, consider setting a workshop to hear a presentation and discussion of the tentative budget on July 22nd, 2024 at 3 PM. I believe that's our regular scheduled meeting day anyways. So I'll entertain a motion.
Yes, sir.
It is.
Fourth Monday.
Fourth Monday, okay.
I'll entertain a motion to approve tab S.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion from Commissioner Hutman.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Farmer. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Legislative public hearing. The following matters under consideration are legislative matters, and the non-quasi judicial procedures will be utilized for the following. County Attorney will read the procedures.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Tab T is a legislative hearing, and the procedures are in place to give all who wish to speak for or against the item an opportunity to do so. Those wishing to speak in favor of or against the item being considered will have 3 minutes to address the board. All statements should be addressed to the board and only the item under consideration. Please begin by stating your name and address for the record. Please do not be repetitious or restate the same information. Sharing or transferring of time is not allowed. The clerk will control the time. Again, that is 3 minutes. Any speaker with documents as part of their presentation should give them to the deputy clerk. They will become a part of the permanent record. The board will then close the hearing, discuss the item under consideration, and ask questions of speakers or staff, deliberate, and then vote on your item. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Ms. May. Okay, under this, is agenda item T, approve and authorize finance package 2024-18 and associated resolutions. So at this time, I'm going to open the public hearing for tab T. Staff presentation. Mr. Ironman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So with these items, this is basically making some of the budget adjustments. We require a public hearing if we're going to increase the budget. So let's say within the general fund, part of this $500,000. So let me walk through a couple things. There are no new projects being proposed as part of this package. There are no new taxes being proposed as part of this tax package. Basically, what we have is 4 cleanup items on the finance side. Recently, the board approved an amendment to the Nassau County Prosperity Plan, which reallocated $500,000 from the Public Safety Training Center for fire improvements and moved it over to the James Page Center so that we can address some of the immediate needs for capacity here. So to move that $500,000 from one project to the other one requires the public hearing. That is the item that we are looking at here today, which cleans it up in line with the board direction on the prosperity plan. The other items are similar, smaller items, as we've had $100 cleanup on one. We had additional revenue to recognize on the other item, and that really kind of sets forward where these items are. But I did want to stress that they're not new projects being proposed or new taxes in this. It's just budgetary cleanup items.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Ironman? Okay. Is there anyone in the general public that would like to speak in favor or against tab T? If so, please come to the podium. Your time limit is 3 minutes. Seeing none. Any board questions, again, for Mr. Ironman or staff? Okay. The public hearing for tab T is closed. Board discussion or motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion, please.
Commissioner Gray.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In regards to tab T, based on the review of the applicable testimony and evidence provided, my motion is to approve and authorize finance package 2024-18 and associated resolutions.
I'll second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
A motion from Commissioner Gray, seconded by Commissioner Farmer. Any further?
Huffman, sir.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Huffman. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. So that will bring us to general public comment. Comments can only be for items under the authority of the Board of County Commissioners. Time limit is 3 minutes. Ms. Jackie Osborne.
Jacqueline Osborne, 85503 Sagaponic, Fernandina Beach, Florida. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for allowing me to address this group. 2 weeks ago, the animal shelter here in Nassau County participated in a Petco mega adoption down at the Jacksonville Fairgrounds. They took 90 animals down. 18 came back. 72 animals were adopted, which is phenomenal. That's just, the people that work there are just fantastic. Unlike past meetings, I didn't bring you pictures, just some good news. As of this afternoon, the figures in the animal shelter are 68 dogs and 75 are out on foster. If you recollect, a couple of weeks ago, I came in, it was 102 dogs. And so I am just over the moon with this. I can't tell you how exciting this is. In the cats, we've got 71. It's kitten season, so 116 are out in foster. So they'll start coming back in the next week or so, and then they'll be ready to, next couple of weeks, and then they'll be ready to go out and be spayed and neutered. Through the good work of the animal shelter, volunteers who walk the dogs, and fosters who open their hearts and homes to the family, to animals, the numbers have gone down drastically. However, they can peak out very quickly over the year. If you know of anyone wanting a pet, please be sure to tell them to go to NCAS. They've got anything you want down there, and you go in and you see these dogs that look like they could be big and you could be scary, let's just own it. But yet they're not. They are gentle and just having so much fun. If you ever look on their website, you'll see pictures of dogs running and playing and what have you. They do an enormous job down there, and it just does my heart good to see those numbers drop by half. So thank you so very much for working to get us a new animal shelter. I'm just excited. I asked I asked Mr. Pope when it was time to bring my shovel in, because I'm ready to start digging. Thank you very much.
Don't go away, Ms.
Ms.
Osborne.
Osborne.
Ms. Osborne, come on back.
I just wanted to thank you for feeding them lunch today, Miss Osborne. You're their queen. Thank you. They really appreciate you so much, everything you do, but you don't get the praise you deserve for all your voice and advocacy for us. So thank you, Miss Osborne.
Somebody's got a big mouth over there.
You know I love my dogs. I'm always watching them.
Okay. Next, we have Mr. Len Krieger, former Vice Mayor, Commissioner of the City of Fernandina Beach. Mr. Vice Mayor.
Len
You have
Krieger,
3 minutes, please.
1313 Hickory.
Thank you. He knows the routine.
I'm here tonight to talk about extreme weather. Today at about 1 o'clock, the heat index was 109. At 109, we're extreme caution and we're all at risk. As this has been going, it's throughout the country. There's the White House just came out with grants and money for it. We formed a coalition of stakeholders on the 28th of June to deal with this and other issues. And the immediate thing we wanted to do was get the information of cooling centers, hydration centers, and ultimately more extensive centers. And we went to the city and actually solicited them. The city's on board. To me, any public building is a cooling center that's open, that's conditioned, is a hydration center. There are issues with occupancy. The county library is aboard. We've talked to the COA, and we want to bring the county in, and I can, as we work with the city, and they'll give us stuff, we'll work with the county to get the consolidated list so people know where to go. Another problem is people are unaware of this. So if you look at the city website, they have air quality on there. We want them to put cooling index. If you look at the emergency management site, they actually have heat issues, but you have to go to a drop-down box and there's no heat index. So I'd work with the emergency management. I guess that's the sheriff, right?
Yes.
And get, so you can go to a website and get that information. And those are our 2 immediate goals. Then we'll go further and talk about overnight. Now, with the new state law, that's pretty complex, and legalities are a problem. The city, we have a heating center, but that could be problematic, is to look at that law. And in the county, I'm not sure what you're doing. This is brand new, so this is just like information. But I said to the city, you can be a part of our coalition, and I'm saying to the county, you can be a part of our coalition, and this doesn't cost you anything. So we have other people here. Health Department is involved. We have the homeless, and this will get to the homeless more and more as we move on, as we incorporate more centers where people can go. Right now, people go to the library, and they can do that. And this is beyond just homeless. This is everybody. All of us are at risk. So any questions? Are you in?
Thank you, Vice Mayor Krieger. I want to clarify what I just said. You asked emergency management, does that come under the sheriff? Yes, it does, unless there's a state of emergency in effect, and then it comes under the authority of the county manager. So I just want to clarify that. So.
And we get it on your website, too.
Well, what I'm going to recommend that you do is we can chat after the meeting and we can discuss a path forward.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. That brings us to county attorney business,
I have no further business this evening, sir. Thank you.
county manager business,
I have no more, sir. Thank you.
commissioner items. Well, before we go down to that, because I'll always forget it, the informational item, tab U, information only, Board of County Commissioners newsletter for May 2024. There we are breaking ground on probably another fire station or something. Okay? But anyways, our PIO does a great job, and she has some help now, too, with, you met Amari at the last meeting. He's doing a phenomenal job for us also. Okay, county commissioner items. Commissioner McCullough.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. You know, I love celebrating America's birthday. I'm in my flag sweater today. Y'all know, I'm so patriotic. I think it should be, you know, we live in America. People don't, they just take it for granted. And I know every generation below us, I went with my daughter just 2 weeks ago up and we did the 9/11 museum tour and everything. And we kept walking through the museum and she didn't understand why my sister and I were just weeping. If you've not ever done the 9/11 experience, if you're ever in New York, I would highly suggest it, especially if you lived on, you know, to see September 12th and you've been fortunate enough, because you never wish for anything, terrorism or anything across the world, but it's just different. In 2001, we just had a different sense of patriotism, you know, post 9/11, and sometimes, you know, you just wish we could have unification again. And so I'm not even hoping that everybody can just hold hands and sing Kumbaya, but I'll keep wishing for it every day. It's hot. It is hot outside. I know we're combating a lot of those issues and we are listening to you, but one thing is it is Florida. It is the Southeast, and it's just hot. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's just gonna be hot because of where we live. So I just encourage everybody. I've been hanging out at the library and I have air conditioning right now. I haven't replaced that in 5 years. We're talking about everything that broke at my house this week, but you know, I encourage everybody to go to the library because it's my favorite place to hang out, because I just love to read, because the more you read, the more you know, and the more places you'll go. So I'm gonna keep sending everybody to the library, and when they leave there, they can take a dog out for a walk. And so speaking of 4th of July, we had probably the biggest, most awesome celebration. I know each district, y'all got to do cool things, but I'm just saying the West Side, we probably did it the best. Clint will probably agree that, you know, we had the best 4th of July celebration in the county.
Big party.
I mean, it was pretty awesome. I'm sorry that you weren't there, but it's okay. You know, the town of Hilliard and town of Callahan, we worked, it was such a great collaboration. You know, sometimes we get divided up into towns and cities and all of this, but man, it was awesome. We had a huge turnout. We had events all day long underneath the pavilions. I have not had another slice of watermelon. I'm not sure if I can ever eat watermelon again after I watched those kids eat John Beasley's sweat all through a contest. He was cutting the watermelon, sweating. Him and Clint sweated into the watermelon the whole time. Fed it to these poor little children, and they scarfed it down during the watermelon eating contest.
You know what I mean?
So I was like, listen, I was like, my kids aren't participating. I'm not participating, but everyone else got to have fun at the watermelon eating contest. So we all had a good time. I'm just so grateful. Paul Schwinn for the Economic Development Board, for FPL, for both of the town councils, for the county, for, oh my word, Brandy's not even here, is she? But oh my goodness, her collaboration for everything. Holly was there. So many members of the planning and zoning, of facilities. It was a huge, huge collaboration of all three groups. And it was just, I've heard nothing but the community, town of Hilliard and Callahan, just singing praises of what a wonderful, fun, family-friendly, it was a great fellowship night. What a great way to celebrate our birthday. And it was a great time. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner McCullough. Commissioner Gray.
Okay, I'm gonna be short. I did hear the Light Up Sky Independence Day celebration for the town of Callahan and town of Hilliard was a big success. The Economic Development Board reached out, showed some clips, some video clips and things, so it was a big event. I'm sorry I was away and unable to attend. But on the bright side of things, coming up here on Thursday, we have the first Wawa opening up here in Nassau County. Wawa, okay, it's gonna be at 8:30 Thursday morning down here on State Road 200 in our new Wildlight NCPA area by 95. You know, we're transitioning. We're getting a lot of little things that we never had before here. So if you want to come out and join the ceremony, I'll be there at 8:30 Thursday morning, and that's basically all I have.
Is it like free hot dogs or slushies?
I'm not sure, but I mean, it's
What do
pretty
they do?
exciting. It's like,
Okay.
if you ever not been
I've
to
not
a
been to one.
Buc-ee's, or you ever not been to a Wawa, so.
not been to Wawa.
Okay, yeah, so we'll have our own Wawa here in Nassau County. And, you know, all of us as a board, we welcome new business coming to Nassau County, absolutely. And So I'll be out there Thursday if you'd like to come along. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I just want to make a comment on that. Unfortunately, I have a schedule conflict, so I'm not going to be able to be at Wawa. So, however, any other commissioners that can be there, you may get asked to speak if you RSVP.
Mr. Chairman, I'll be there.
You will be there, thank you. The vice chairman will be there, so he will represent us. Commissioner Farmer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to say congratulations to Commissioner Hupman for achieving his ACC 1 designation. Me and him have both been through our FAC classes in Orlando. Very, very educational classes, had a great time, learned a lot, looked at a lot of challenges that are facing the other counties in the state, that we can bring that information back here and work collaboratively for the people that we represent. So I just wanted to say congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President.
And this past weekend, I won't go into the 4th of July celebration, but I'll just tag along and say that it was a tremendous celebration. Had a little bit of rain move through at the beginning, kind of dampened things up a little bit, but it did not slow anything down. As soon as the rain receded, it was just, man, people pouring in the gate, and the people had a fantastic time. Food trucks, I heard from some of the food truck vendors that they were really successful out there that day. I love seeing us have these local food truck vendors, playing a part. So we're keeping our money in our circle, if you will, keeping it in our county, so I like that a lot. I'd like to thank my friend Joe Rayberg. He always, if I grab him up and say I need some help for some sort of public service, he always says, man, where am I at? And I said, well, we're gonna go judge a pie baking contest. He said, you had me at pie. And so anyway, we had a really cool pie baking contest that we had to judge. Congratulations to Miss Abby Driggers from Callahan who won that. And we had 45 kids participate in the watermelon eating contest. And so it was really phenomenal to see all those kids up there, and the competition was fierce. Congratulations to all the winners. Also like to say our prayers go out to the Gulf Coast and the Galveston, Texas area as they're dealing with some inclement weather. Obviously, everybody's watched the Weather Channel, sees what's going on over there. Let's, as a just group here that lives in a coastal area, let's don't wait until the last minute to start, worrying about stocking up on supplies. I mean, hurricane season is right here upon us. There's no reason why you can't go out and grab a few extra canned goods here and there, grab some bottled water, some batteries, the weather radio, stuff like that. And it's a whole lot easier to go ahead and do it now than it is to be looking down the barrel. And a lot of those people waited till the last minute. And of course, you see the same things happen every season. We live here in Florida. We got Home Depot, Lowe's, you got Ace Hardwares, you got Walmart, you got all these places you can go stock up on this stuff. And of course, if you're like me, there's some sort of Amazon package on the doorsteps about 4 or 5 times a week. Just order this stuff up if you can't, get out into town and get it. And just don't wait until the last minute to be prepared. Nassau County, we're known for helping one another. So make sure that you're equipped for upcoming storm season. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Farmer. Commissioner Hupman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will offer my congratulations to Commissioner Farmer on his graduation from ACC 1, Advanced County Commissioner Level 1, on to Level 2. We'll learn the final pieces, I guess, of what's available for us as commissioners. Thursday evening, this coming Thursday, there's an event downtown called Christmas in July, and it's to support Joy to the Children, which is a local charitable organization that provides Christmas celebration for underserved families in Nassau County. It's held every year at a school in the Yulee area. So I'd like to encourage folks to stop by there, the Green Turtle Tavern, between 6:30 and 10 p.m. this coming Thursday, and participate in Christmas in July. It'll look like Christmas there at the Turtle, and you can help out a superb nonprofit, joytothechildren.org, if you want more information about who they serve, going on 28 years in Nassau County, that charity. And lastly, Wawa is a Mid-Atlantic region thing. And as a former, although I am a proud Floridian, as a former Mid-Atlantic guy, the coffee and service in Wawa is superb. So I'm glad they're in Nassau County, and I look forward to a cup of Wawa coffee. Yeah.
I'll be there with you.
Take me back to my old roots. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Commissioner
the
Hupman. Okay, so several of us, including County Manager, County Attorney, Commissioners Hupman, Farmer, and myself, and Assistant County Manager Ironman, went down to the Florida Association of Counties conference. And I too would like to add my congratulations to Commissioner Putman and Farmer for continuing in their commissioner training and education process by earning their Advanced County Commissioner Level 1 certification. Good job. I look forward to the next conference where we'll be watching get the Advanced County Commissioner Level 2 certification. I went through this program. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I think it's a good thing. While we were down there, I watched County Manager Pope do a presentation. Now, you got to realize, these are folks from all over the state that go to this conference. County managers, county attorneys, county commissioners, they go to this conference. So County Manager Pope gave a presentation on the Conservation Land Acquisition Management Program, the CLAM program that we have here, and he did an outstanding job. So I just wanted to give kudos to County Manager Pope. And I tried to go up and congratulate him after the presentation, but I had to wait in line because there were at least 20 people that wanted to talk to him about how did Nassau do this? And as Commissioner Farmer likes to say, this was an example of Nassau leads the way. So good job, County Manager Pope. And I'm going to ask you or County Manager Ironman to, I don't think we did this at the last meeting because I think we found out about it after the last meeting, but the Triple Crown Award. Would one of you chime in on what that is and how hard it was for us to get it, or what it took for us to get it?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. So from a financial perspective, our agency or national organization that really kind of sets the rules and parameters is the Government Finance Officers Association. They have 3 awards that we work with the clerk's office on. Those 3 awards, they relate to the ACFR, or the Annual Comprehensive Financial Report, the PAFR, I know we love acronyms, right? The Popular Annual Financial Report, and then the third one is the budget. And so with last year, say 2 years ago, we've received 2 budget awards. And so with that first year of the budget award, it made us eligible for the Triple Crown. And what that means is that we're doing the best we can to put forward documents that are clear and transparent to the public, that communicates what's going on in the county, and allows them to see all of our activities. And then we're judged by different entities across the nation that will review those reports, give us feedback on how we can continue to improve them. But they hold us to the fire to make sure that we're meeting the minimum standards and moving forward for our jurisdiction. And so with all 3 of those reports being out there, we now actually have earned the Triple Crown for Nassau County. So, we appreciate the clerk's office as they produce 2 of the reports with our assistance, and then we have the budget report. And so now that we've met that final step, this board has brought forward 2 years of budgets that are nationally approved or recognized and made us eligible for this. So.
Thank you, Mr. Iron. I think he's out there. We should give a shout out to Mr. Chris LaCombra and his staff and anyone, all the other folks that are part of the Team Nassau that contributed to this. So good job. Just a little bit around the fireworks. Something that was not mentioned with the towns of Callahan and Hilliard combining for the fireworks due to the bicentennial, and the Planning and Zoning Department had folks out there with the Vision 2050 tent. We kicked in money for that, so it would be probably a better fireworks display than they've ever had out there, or I should say we've ever had out there. And also, we kicked in some money to make sure that for Light Up Amelia, to enhance their fireworks display on Amelia Island too. So I wasn't there, I apologize, but I understand it went off really well. So kudos to all the organizations that were part of that. And last but certainly not least, I was given this today, or right before the meeting. I don't know if she's here and would like to talk about it. You can come up if you'd like. I saw your hand go up. Come on up. I don't want to steal your thunder.
No, I have no
Just state your-
intention to
just state
speak,
your
but
name for the
Bar
app.
Baptista, 1120B, Nature's Walk Drive, Fernandina Beach. Yes, this is an event that we are holding for
I'll
the,
hold it up so they can zoom in.
it's the Bounce Back to School event, which is providing support not only to students, but families to succeed throughout the school year. We have assured the presence of 34 organizations providing likewise services, and it is a partnership between CREED, the City of Fernandina, Elm Street Sportsman Association, and the Health Department. from physicals to health, vision.
Maybe they won't zoom in. I'm sorry, they're trying to zoom in on this as you're talking.
Oh, oh, it is. And vision and hearing. There are groups talking about developmental delays as well, mental health, and it is really, really a diverse experience for all. And I hope that you join us. And at that time, we like to present the county and the city with a 200th anniversary gift, which is the No Wrong Door resource guide for community support. So I hope that we can see a representation from the county so we can actually have a presentation. It's going to be an online version, but we're looking forward to that event.
Commissioner McCullough.
Are you doing the immunizations? I know sometimes at the bounce back to school.
Yeah.
When I was reading the flyer.
We're doing the TDAP, and for the families.
So you're doing the seventh grade shots?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
And-
Okay.
And for the families that need to update other records, they will leave with an appointment for the health department to have it at the health department.
But this is an opportunity for all the parents who, when seventh grade that we hold in the library, the first week of school, this is your chance
Absolutely.
for no cost to go get that seventh grade shot before the first week of school. Thank you.
And same thing for all of the families that they are first-time Florida residents to have their required physical exams.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. So to summarize, this is the 2024 Bounce Back to School event. It's going to be at the Peck Center Gymnasium, 510 South 10th Street in Fernandina Beach on July 20th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. There'll be vision screenings, physicals for first-time Florida students, community clubs, classes and care, backpacks and supplies, essentials for students and families, and so much more. So if you want any more information, contact Barbara Batista with Florida Health at 904-753-1258. And we are adjourned.
I didn't see the seventh grade immunization.